Yo, we back at it. Talking about generating sales tonight. This is going to be the type of topic that you want to save, that you want to, if you got an iPhone, do a screen record and make sure that you're getting this information. We're going to have a special guest joining us in a little bit to talk about generating sales, but this is a topic that every single serious entrepreneur, every single serious business owner needs to tap into. Hey, what's going on, Joe? I'm going to have to get you in here. Here we go. All right, you should see that invite. Once you see it, then just hit accept. There we go. What's going on, brother? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for joining.
Oh, no worries. No worries. It's good to be here.
Absolutely. All right. So, first off, before we really get into the discussion part of it, for those that don't know nothing about you, Joe, could explain who you are and what exactly you do?
Yeah, fair enough. I'm just a random, doing random things in the random world. No, no, but seriously, my name's Joel. I do sales. I've been in sales for 10 plus years, a long time, and I specialize in that area. I've done sales management, sales coaching, sales training. I ran inductions for one of the biggest telecommunications companies here in New Zealand, Vodafone. I've done a ton of stuff in sales, customer experience, etc. So highly kind of versed in those areas. But what I'm really about is just helping people. And so that's why I got into the sales coaching space, because I recognize that sales isn't actually that easy. And some people find it quite hard, to ask the right questions, to be able to present their offer, whatever it is. So I decided that I wanted to take that skill set and apply that and help people actually present their offers and build their business, because without sales, you don't have a business. So that's
No, I
that's
no,
me.
I totally agree. I totally agree. And you're getting the party started earlier by just going right into it, Joe, saying without sales
Straight
you
in,
don't
bro.
have a business, and it's all facts. So let's talk about that aspect way before
Thanks.
we even get into the nitty gritty of it. Why is it important to grow as a sales organization, no matter what industry you're a part of?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think the importance of growing as a business or an organization, especially in your sales space, um, is is really, it's about um, the continuity and the future of your business. Without sales, you're not going to be able to invest more. You're not going to be able to hire more people. You're not going to be able to scale or grow, invest into new markets. Like, without money, without sales, you're stuck and you're
Mhm.
stagnant. And so, and the importance of growing, continuously growing your sales team or your sales ability, if you're a one man band, is basically the life of your business. That
Mhm.
you need to be able to move forward, you need to be able to find new customers, and you need to land them. And so continuously growing and working on that craft of being able to sell and use your those skill sets is the number one thing that any business needs. Everything else is important too, but the sales piece is how you pull everything together and basically present that and onboard people. So it's kind of the glue that every business needs.
I love
Yeah.
that. Thank you so much for sharing that. Now, for these one man bands, right? There's so many of them out there, right? Like they're
Yeah.
on Instagram, on Facebook. We're trying to build successful businesses, and we don't have a whole team. We don't have specialists like you, Joe, to hire.
Yeah.
So, what exactly do we do in order to grow our business? Like really understanding, thinking about what you just said as the importance of sales. What's some tips that we can grow our business and become better at sales?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, the first thing is never stop working on it. I just need to like make that really clear. You'll never be the perfect best salesperson ever. Like there's no kind of like mark that you can hit and then you're good and you never have to work on it ever again. It's just like any skill, you got to
Right.
continuously work on it. It's something that you put time, and effort into continuously. But the things that you can focus on first, I think, is really is some of the foundational stuff that a lot of people like yourself with brand development coaching would teach or train your students. Like you'd be focusing on your target audience and then what pain points and problems they need solving, and then what offers you can tailor to really meet that need and solve that problem. Like if you can do that, you're halfway there in the sales game. Because I see so many people out there like trying to hustle or trying to like sell their product or try their best to pitch their service. I mean, in particular, I work with creatives, and in the creative space where people are so focused on what they can do. So it's like that the person's like, hey, I need a logo, I need a new, like a rebrand. And it's like, cool, I can do that. Here's some work that I've done before. Do you like the quality kind of conversation? But if it doesn't solve a problem, then it's going to be so much harder to sell and worth less as well.
Yes.
Solve problems, it pays. And so the biggest issue I kind of see is often people don't know who they're targeting, how they can actually help them, i.e. the problems they could solve, and then what offer to best present to that client to be able to get it across the line. And so you focus there first, and then the rest of it follows, and it's practice and it's tweaking and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah.
Gotcha. That totally makes sense. Now, are you someone that believes in things like email marketing, doing cold calling? Like, what are your thoughts on those avenues to bring up business?
Yeah, going into the cold calling. Cold calling is like almost a dirty word, eh? It's like the equivalent of like door knockers. But I think email marketing is heavily important. It's something that helps to nurture your existing audience or client base, and it actually helps build that client base too. For those people that are purely building their businesses on Instagram or LinkedIn or a social platform, great. But another key way to build your audience is through email marketing. If Instagram went down, if LinkedIn went down, if you needed to pivot and move away from one of those platforms into another platform, TikTok, for example, you don't want to be starting again completely from scratch. So there's, email marketing is a key way, and it's a direct communication channel with your customers. So super important to build that, but do it in a meaningful way. Like think about how you're actually going to engage people, add value, why they would want to receive emails from you. There are a lot of emails that we get every day. A lot of them go into that promotions tab and never get seen. So if you're going to build that, think about what value you're adding, why people would want to read it, and really help them to engage your audience. It's a key channel, I think, for any business. The cold calling piece though, cold calling, that is a tough one. And actually, even on social media, the equivalent is like cold DMs, right? Like I think anyone that's spent a little bit of time on Instagram, done a few like pieces of content, tried to build their following, has had probably anywhere from 10 to 100 different DMs from people pitching their, buy my crypto, buy this NFT, I can grow your followers, pay me, $20 for 1,000 followers, like all that kind of stuff. It's always a cold DM, right? You've probably received the same, right, Manny?
Right.
Yeah. You've probably received those. Yeah.
No, I was just going to say, and it's tough because, in one respect, you kind of understand where the entrepreneur is coming from because he's trying to generate some type of sales, some type of way. And it's like, well, what the heck do I do then? Like if I'm not sending messages, because, in some ways people are making the posts on social media, they're commenting on other people's pages, and they're like, but nobody's buying anything from me. In many instances at this level, I will tell a client, look, let's look at the processes behind the scenes. Let's look at some of the stuff that you're doing and nobody sees. Like, how is your follow-up? What systems are you using? How is the buying process? Like, is it easy for me to purchase from you or very difficult to purchase from you? Because this is going to be a determining factor of why you're not generating sales. Maybe people are clicking the link in your bio, but once they get there, they're confused and they walk away.
100%,
So,
100%.
everything that Joel and I were talking about today, like you guys, we have to understand it is not just about your face to face interaction or your virtual interaction with the client. Sometimes it goes way beyond that and way before that. Would you agree, Joel?
Yeah, 100%. The profile thing is a massive thing. If I mean, especially on Instagram, people so often don't have their bio optimized, don't have their profile optimized, don't have call to actions in their bio or in their posts. And some people, call to actions a bit of a dirty word, but at the end of the day, as a small business owner, as an entrepreneur, as someone trying to build their following or get more sales, like a call to action is an easy way for clients to just see and know how to reach out to you. That's the key. Like someone that doesn't want to reach out to you is going to see the call to action and just ignore it. But
Mm-hmm.
someone that does want to, that's that's the way to reach out to you. They don't have to think about it. They just see DM me brand to get started, and they
Yeah,
DM you brand. They know
yeah,
what to say.
yeah.
They know what to do. It's easy. So you're exactly right. We have to put in this groundwork because we're not hand holding these potential clients the whole way through. They're seeing our post, they're jumping on our profile. What happens next? What are they
Yeah.
seeing? What are they reading? All of that sells to them. All of that builds trust. All of that is, like you say, a precursor to the beginning of a conversation. So what happens then is just as important as what happens after.
Mm, I love that. And I think that these are the things that most of us as entrepreneurs don't want to do, don't want to talk about, don't want to study because it's like there has to be an easy way because I think that, we live in like this kind of microwave society and it's
Yeah,
gotten worse that it's like we
it
want
needs to be
everything
quick.
fast. Like we don't even want to
Yeah,
read a social media post anymore. We literally just want to watch the TikTok video. And if you can't
yeah,
explain everything in that video, then I'm not watching. I don't need to know anymore. Uh, but it's like, when you think about your business, this is something that's your baby. It should be near and dear to your heart. So you should be researching your industry. You should be studying it like crazy. You should be reading other books that's industry specific because all of these things are going to lay the groundwork, like Joe was just talking about, to get us to where we ultimately want to be. So then, and I'll be honest with you, I'll be transparent for a minute that even things like confidence and having enthusiasm within that sales process, we don't think this is it's important, but it's like you show up like with this mean look on your face. Hey, I want to sell you this product. Okay, well, what is it? It's right here. Can't you see it? Like, well,
yeah,
I don't know if I want to buy it. Take it. Just take a look at it, please. It's really
yeah,
good for you. Just buy it. We're like, no, I don't want to buy that. Like you're scaring me. I'm running away from you. But it's like if we like take the time to say, okay, I gotta be more confident in myself and my product. I have to be a little bit more enthusiastic. Maybe I have to be a little nice. Maybe I have to come off as somebody that's a pleasing personality versus me coming off rude and arrogant like everyone in the world wants my product. And sometimes it's like, you're sitting at 5 followers and you want everybody to get excited about your brand as if it's 2000. It's like, come on, guys, like we got to start somewhere. Now, to the person that has 5 followers, you can have tremendous value. You actually could be making much more money than the person with millions of followers. But your enthusiasm is going to tell us if it's something that we should potentially even be interested in.
yeah. 100%. The confidence, arrogance thing, so true. There's 100% difference between, you know, arrogance and actual confidence. And I think sometimes people, out of a place of like not feeling fully confident, not feeling fully sure of themselves or sure of their offer or sure they can help, kind
Mm-hmm.
of put on this persona of like, yeah, look at me, like I can do this, but
Yeah.
it comes across arrogant, and actually that's off-putting.
Yeah.
And so, tame it down a bit, but be confident. And I think a key, we've already touched on it, the foundations that we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
You lay those foundations, you're going to feel so much more
Mm-hmm.
confident going into a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I think about quite often what happens is we go into a discovery call and we start beginning this process of maybe pitching a product to a client. And the problem that I see all the time is we salespeople or entrepreneurs trying to sell their
Mm-hmm.
product
Mm-hmm.
present like get into the zone of I need to prove to you how good I am, how amazing I am,
Mm-hmm.
and why you should buy from me.
Yeah.
And they treat it like an interview rather
Mm-hmm.
than like a conversation between two people that need to decide whether they should work together or not. That's
Facts.
that's the difference. Take away the
Facts.
pressure. Like you put the client on the spot, and not in a way that they feel uncomfortable, but ask them questions to see if they're a good fit. You
Mm-hmm.
don't need to work with everyone.
Yep.
If you needed to work with everyone in order to have a sustainable business, like the model you're following is probably not a good
Yep.
one. Like
Facts.
you only need a certain amount of customers. Work out what that
Mm-hmm.
is and work out who you want to find,
Yeah.
and decide when you're in those calls, is
Yeah.
this someone that I can actually help
Mm-hmm.
and that I actually want to work with?
Yeah.
Take that position, and then you'll be the what you present at that point will be confidence, because it's an equal thing, not an interview on the spot, pressure,
Yep.
stress. If I don't
Yep.
close this deal, I'm done,
Yep.
kind of
And
thing.
that's a really
So
good point you brought up too, Joe, because you know none of us are Walmart. And I'm pretty sure you've heard of Walmart even in New Zealand. Like
100%.
it's right,
Yes.
Do they have one there?
No, not here
Okay.
in New Zealand, but
Okay.
we're starting to get some other like bigger
Okay.
businesses here. Like I think we're
Okay.
getting a Costco soon
Okay.
and
Okay.
stuff
That's
like
good.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that big shopping, like a big warehouse full of products. It's a really dope store, so you'll like that one. So
Yeah.
the point I make is that none of us are Walmart, but let's just say that you had a package that you were offering digitally, right? So just a straight digital product that cost $5,000, right? And you only had 2,000 people buying it from you a month. That's still a pretty nice profit. Now you could say, well, that's not enough for me, Manny. I'm greedy. I want more. Okay, you have 5,000 customers every single month buying your $1,000 product. That's still some pretty good money every single month. Now, there could be millions of people that don't like you at all that say, I would never buy from you. Do you care at that point? No. Because you're bringing in enough sales, but guess what? In order to get to this point, you have to realize your offer has to be strongly valuable to your customer and not just you. Like, we can put together an offer and say, this is going to be $9.97. But is it $9.97 worth of value, or is it really somewhere in the ballpark about $49? Maybe it's $100, but you're charging $9.97 because you want all this money. Because maybe you have some bills you need to pay that are behind. Maybe you want to go buy this new house or this new car. So you're like, I'm going to charge them this amount. And then you have a few people buying it, so you get excited. But here's what happens: you don't get any testimonials. And if you do get some testimony, it's some bad testimony. It's not ones that you could actually use on your landing page. That's going to get other people excited. There's these few people saying that things sucked. It wasn't worth $9.97. So what I'm saying, guys, is like, make sure that your offer is valuable. That whatever they're paying, they're going to get 10 times the value out of it. So if it's $1,000, this person is potentially making $10,000, $100,000, maybe even $1 million off of using that particular product that they only had to pay $1,000 for. You want them kind of walking away feeling like they got a steal. Like they walked away, I only had to spend $1,000 for this, but I was potentially making all of this. Talk to him, Joe.
Yeah, I agree. The thing that I think about is how can you make your offer so good that that'd be stupid to say no.
Mm.
It, if you can create an offer for your ideal client where they are just absolutely an idiot for saying no because it makes so much sense and it's going to deliver XYZ deliverable and make them more money, whatever it is, like, then at that point you're gonna win.
Yeah.
And it makes things so much easier. You need to work backwards, like work out who your ideal client is, work out what some of these problems are, and then say, what's the dream solution? Like, if I had unlimited money, it didn't matter what it was going to cost, I had unlimited resources, what would the absolute dream scenario be that I would provide to this customer to meet that need and solve that pain point? And then work backwards instead of going, well, what's the bare minimum I could do for them? Because the more I do, the more it's going to cost. And then how much can I reasonably mark that up? That's backwards thinking. And that's the kind of thing that you end up getting these $997 courses that they say it's $5,000 worth of value that you're getting for $997. Is it $5,000 worth of value? Why, if it is, then why aren't you selling it for 5,000? Why do you have a constant discount going on every day? 365 days of the year, there's a discount for $997, and then on Easter or whatever, Christmas, it drops down to $549. Like, what are you doing? We need to actually look at our offers and decide, like, what's the dream scenario? What problem does it solve? And then what's that actually worth? And sell it for what it's worth. Like, I'm not against discounting, but I think we need to use discounting carefully because it can devalue what we're actually offering, and we should be selling it for what it's worth. If you sell a $5,000 course and it makes them $20,000, that's a no-brainer. Right? So why discount it to $2,000?
I love it. I love it. And you think about like these luxury brands that I think that, Joe, tell me if you think differently, but I think that a lot of entrepreneurs, business owners are on Instagram and they are creating what they would consider like a luxury brand because they somewhat feel entitled to be able to do so. Like, I'm going to charge this premium amount because I can. And yes, you can, but you're not offering premium service along with that. And a lot of these people are getting subpar service for this premium price, and it's like ridiculous because they think of like luxury brands in their minds. You think about Bentley, you think about Rolls Royce, you think about Mercedes Benz, BMW, whatever. And they are a luxury brand that offer a luxury experience, a luxury service along with that price, so that you almost feel okay with paying this ridiculous amount of money because it's like, oh no, I'm not just paying for this car, I'm paying for this experience also. I remember it was an interview and the owner of, I believe it might have been Bentley, they were asked like, hey, why don't you have any commercials on the TV? And he said, well, because my customers don't watch TV. And I was like, wow. And I'm just like, it messed me up, Joe, because I was like, I'm watching TV all the time. Like, at least 2 hours a day, like, and this is some of my favorite shows, some good documentaries. So I feel somewhat justified, but I'm like, I'm watching TV. So the owner of Bentley, the owner of Rolls Royce, they're not marketing to me because I'm not their customer, because here I am watching TV. They're probably advertising at country clubs. They're probably advertising at yachts in places where the rich money really is. And here I am on TV and I'm being marketed to like from Kia and Ford and some of these smaller brands for cars that everybody that's watching TV would be also getting the same advertisement. So that made me kind of level up my thinking in terms of like premium. Like, so there's nothing wrong with providing premium service for this premium high ticket offer that you have, but don't have your prices increase and say, well, I know my worth, I'm charging $30,000 just because I said so, but you're not giving people that same value. If you're going to charge a premium rate for any type of product or service, you have to attach it to that premium experience. Think about Disney, for instance. Disney is one of these big companies that charges a lot of money for a ticket just to get inside of their park. But they will entertain you right from the moment you're standing in line all the way to you get into the park. That's a premium experience that other amusement parks are not going to offer.
100%. And the thing we don't think about, I think, when we compare like what we're doing to a premium brand, often they're way different industries too. So like you think about selling cars, like a Bentley is way different to providing, you know, brand services or coaching services, way different. But one of the biggest selling points of, say, Bentley or going to Disneyland or something like that isn't just the experience, it's also the story that comes with it. You know, I can, as a kid, if I'm like a 10-year-old kid and I go to Disneyland, like all my mates are going to hear about that at school the next week. That's a great story. It's going to get me some clout, you know, like I'm going to get a bit of attention. Like kids might not necessarily want that, but that's a result. And it's the same with a Bentley. You own a Bentley, all your friends know about that.
It's a status,
it's a fashion, it's a status thing. It's a statement. So, you know, buying your service for $10,000 and comparing this premium service to, say, Bentley as a premium brand, they're just different. Like people, like, I mean, at coaching level, say, if you were to work with Grant Cardone, Gary Vee, someone like that, one-on-one coaching for marketing or whatever it was, like that maybe would be an equivalent kind of fashion statement. To be like, I work with Gary Vee, I work with Grant Cardone, and then therefore they might charge whatever it is. But that's, you know, we've got to think about comparison here, and yes, go for like what's valuable, but think about what your selling points are as well. But the selling point of keeping up with the Joneses doesn't always apply. So we need to be aware of that and what our value is and what value that is that we're providing. So
that's good. That's really, really good. Joe, we're going to have to do this again sometime if you're down.
I think so.
This was really, really good. I wish we could have went even longer, but I got another client call right after this. So I got to get it in. But thanks again for Joe. Give them your contact information, how they can get in contact with you.
Yeah, just hit me up on my Instagram handle at the Joel Patchett. You can DM me, you can follow me there. That's how you can get in touch with me. And all my contact information's in there. So at the Joel Patchett. Gotcha.
Awesome. All right. Thanks again for your time. We're going to do this again.
Cheers, Manny.
Y'all watch this recording. I'm going to make sure that it's saved on my page. He gave some great game about selling and techniques and things you got to think about. So y'all tap in. Talk to y'all soon. Peace.